Why, hello there, YouTube. We are back once again with another solo commentary series by myself. TJ, once again, should be on his Time Stranger Marathon. So if you guys are wondering how he is doing on the stream, do check him out. He has been grinding the game, having a lot of fun with it. I, at the time of recording, have just finished installing it, so I am super hyped to be playing it after I record this commentary video for you all. So, you're welcome. But we've got some matches from Sully's Abode for y'all. Sully's is a local card shop we go to every Thursday for Digimon, so at about 6:30 p.m. located in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, want to check us out or check the shop out, feel free to swing on by. Today's matchup, we've got two new players on the cam. I have yet to meet them, but welcome to the community. Welcome to, I believe they're in our Discord as well. So shout out to both Blubby and Air Dudes. We've got Blubby on the left playing Adventgure. We got Mr. Air Dudes on the right playing 3 Musketeers. Both decks are still pretty fun. I mean, Adventgure still is a very solid pick into the meta. 3 Muskets has always been a fun deck. It's always someone's pet project out there, and definitely a lot of dedicated stands to try to make the deck work. I don't believe it got any new support in EX-10. Correct me if I'm wrong, but should be a fun matchup to see regardless. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit us up on our socials, which are also linked down in the video description. And also do let us know what other decks you'd like to see. I have put together Belfi and Black War by the time this video goes up, so I will be definitely trying to practice with it, and we might be able to get some cam matches as well to put up on the channel for you guys to kind of showcase how the deck works. So I'm excited to play test those and see how things go. I also will have Pyramidi or rocks put together too, so definitely testing the villains set out, and should be a good time. But enough yapping from me. Let us hop right into the round here. So yeah, I mean, Adventgure is always one of those decks that I think is very solid. I mean, it's definitely one of those, like, it's nice to have a like meta ready deck almost straight out of the box, right? I think there's a lot of folks who are using a lot of different tech pieces like the promo Wargray, Medieval, green-based Adventures doing like Zafaga package or like Puppet, right? Puppetmon, Ace, or whatever. But like right out the box, it's still a very solid deck. So it's nice to see like players who are new to the game have access to a deck that in and of itself is very strong. We see here a Evo into Toga for 2. Unfortunately, no Warp Evo, given that we only have 2 colors total out. Debating if we want to pitch off a Gabu. We'll pitch the Burdra. Does die in the check to, looks like, a Magna Kid from Security. We play out a Palmon, reduce cost of 2 by pitching a Palmon to draw 2, sorry. And we pass turn. And we go ahead and start turn here. We pitch a Sparrowmon to go ahead and yeet a Der Blitz underneath off of its effect. We'll gain a memory. And we'll go ahead and Evo, looks like, into... what is that feller? I'm terrible with 3 Musketeers. But we will go into... looks like a Satellamon. As I look these cards up. Yes, it is a Satellamon. You place an Atmon and 3 Muskets trade card from hand or trash as the bottom Digivolution card. Can return that card to hand or deck and affect it with the Digivolve, which is pretty solid. And then when attacking, you can trash a card from your Digivolution cards to Digi-1 one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's a pretty solid effect here. And we go ahead and pass turn over. We do gain a memory having the Palmon up on board, I believe. And we're just kind of debating what we want to do here. And we will play out a Palmon once again for a reduced cost of 2. We'll go ahead and cycle. And I think here we're just... looks like we're struggling just a little bit here. Just trying to like find our pieces and set stuff up. We'll go ahead and play out a Courage United, which is a very solid option card here. But the unfortunate part is that we've given Air Dudes here just a little bit of time to set up. And sometimes that's all that Muskets needed, is to be able to just stay on the board, set up a little bit, and try to do some damage. So we will go into the Avenge Kidmon here. Doesn't have any on Evo effects, but on deletion you can play out a card with a cost of 12 or less from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Has raid, blocker, retail, choking. Initially Blubby to 1 is very solid as well. And we should gain a memory here, so we should be at 2 because we have the Mimi and Joe. Hopefully our players do catch that here in a quick second, because that could come up, right? Having 2 as opposed to 1 definitely could help them out a little bit, but we're still missing that third color, which is a little tough. And I almost feel like here, where can you go? Like, do you go ahead and just chip and try to swing? Yes, you have blocker, but like these Palmons really aren't going to do much here. I think here I almost would just say, this is yeet them. But we do end up playing the Manatee, which is solid. Like, that's solid. Now you've hit your requirement of 3 colors. Your level 5s will get rushed. You have an Agu in the back that can also now warp Evo into a Wargrey. So you've got options. You've got options here, and I think you're in a little bit of a better spot. We've got Air Dudes here debating a swing in a security. We'll go ahead and hit a Mega Caputeri. And then we've got the Toy Agu still in the back. We go into... What is that level 4? That's going to bother me. Tankmon, that's who he is. I keep forgetting that guy has a foil. So on Evo, Tankmon, you can return 3 cards with 3 muskets from hand or trash to top deck. The Digivolve 1, which we chose not to do, and go into another Satella to go ahead and tuck the option card of, I believe that is that Blind Red Trigger? No, that is Chaos Triangular underneath. And Satella reads that you can tuck it, I believe, under any one of your Digimon. Doesn't necessarily have to be like Satella itself. And that particular Digimon can't be returned to hand or deck, which is solid. I mean, that's exactly what you want for Avenge Kid here. So I think you're in a good spot. You're in a pretty decent spot. Once again, we are debating if we want to push up, which you could. I mean, that's not an Agu, that's a Gabu in the back, but it looks like we will keep it in the back here. We'll go ahead and go Burdra, which we do have the color requirements now to Evo into Mega Kabuteri for free. We'll go ahead and lock down 1 for every 2 colors, so we'll go ahead and lock down both. And looks like we're debating... Are we debating a swing here? Does have to keep in mind that he potentially has Alliance, but ooh, we do see a Beelstar Ace. Beelstar Ace, go ahead, return an option card from trash to hand. Then you can use an option card from your hand without paying the cost. We'll go ahead and use that effect. We'll Courage United here to go Lily. Lily effect, we'll go ahead and suspend... Well, not suspend 5k or lower, then go ahead and, since we have 2 colors, return 2 cards potentially to bot deck, but since Avenge Kidmon had the Satella effect live, that doesn't bounce that to the deck, but we do get the overflow from the Beelstar Ace, which is pretty solid. That is pretty solid. So where do we go from here? Looks like we will go... We'll evote into a Melga Ace off of that. We'll go ahead and swing. Did declare Alliance for 2 checks, and the Mega Kabuteri effect, which came from the Melga Ace playing out a level 4. On play evote into the Mega Kabu. We'll go ahead and allow Melga to restand. Doing 2 checks. Big guy does end up living. We'll go ahead and play out the BO for reduced cost. Now, if we can sequence this right, then we should be able to potentially restand if we have the Mega Kabuteri, but we don't, unfortunately. But we'll end up getting the last 2 checks in. Oh. That is a Hurricane Screw Shot. Security deletes 1 level 3, level 4, and a level 5. That's tough. That is big tough. I guess Courage United was potentially played out, but unable to here. Now, can just play out, I believe, here, right? A level 5? No, well, okay. We'll play out Courage United. That's fair, because the Melga doesn't, yeah, okay, that's fine. So yeah, he needed another level 5 to be able to slam down. Another level 5. Yes, pass turn, but didn't go ahead and swing. We'll go Beelstar X here on Air Yep, Air Dudes here. On Evo, play out an option card from your hand without paying the cost. So go ahead and like we played. What was the card that was played? I think it was a blind red trigger. That's what's trashing security here. We'll get the buff. Where do we go from here? Yeah, so Melga will go. We trash top card of security, gain the overflow. And yeah, just like that. I mean, Muskets could be in a spot where they can really seal the deal here. Because Avenged Kid potentially could play out for 7 here if you return 3 cards from trash to bottom deck with 3 muskets. So you would have enough to keep turn even with a Avenged Kid, which will recycle deck a little bit, but more importantly, put up a blocker on the field. Otherwise, I mean, you're in a decent spot here to, like on Adventure's end, to just have the body ready to go next turn. We did Courage United here to play out the Zudo, which will strip the 2 option cards, which again, very, very solid if you want to get rid of the sort of option shenanigans that we see typically with the 3 Muskets deck. We'll go ahead and swing. We'll go ahead choose here to Melga Ace. Melga Ace will bot deck the Beelstar X. And that is tough. That is tough. And that is the scary part with Adventure, is that you could just have the Courage United out on the field and it can do so much for you. As we see here, right? Being able to just recycle a level 5, play it out, threaten Ace. And we see a Gigadramon come out on Air Dudes' end to reveal top 4. You can place an option card with the 3 Muskets traits as the bottom Digivolution card and return the rest to the top or bottom. They place it, you delete 1 with a play cost 3 or less. Nothing to place, unfortunately, so the Tamers do end up living, and we play out a Toy Agu there. As we saw, we do have to be careful about the Ace threat. But, I mean, with 2 bodies and a Matt and Ty on board, you really only need to just Evo the Gabu, I would say. Evo the Gabu, go ahead and go into a Lily off of that effect. You can go ahead and bot deck at least the Toy Agu there. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Sorry for the glare here, but we'll Evo for the 2, bot deck the Agu. Go ahead and, again, we gotta be careful about the Ace, but we'll go swing. Go Angelmon. Angelmon will... Oh, nice. War Gray effect pops the Gigadra, and that'll be a game. Nice. Well sequenced. Very, very well sequenced. And Adventure takes game 1. That Angelmon, honestly, is still so good. I know a lot of decks have strayed away from playing it, but I remember in my early testing of Adventure, that card was just so good. Like, being able to, like, ping pong into like a level 6 essentially for free if you're able to like go into your level 4, whether it's on play or on Evo, warp up into Angelmon. Angelmon, if you have another body on board, lets you warp up again, and you can just like sequence these things so nicely. It's such a strong card still, I think, and really like does potentiate a lot for Adventure. Man, I gotta stay hydrated here, talking the whole time. But yeah, I mean, I think Adventure will continue to be very, very good. I'm curious to see how it does in a meta where Black War Gray is present. And I say present with a little hesitation, right? Because at least in the past regional, we didn't really see Black War make too much of a resurgence in the meta, right? I wonder if that's more so due to just like accessibility to cards or like comfort level, since it's been a deck that's been out of the scene for a little bit. But like in theory, you would think that Black War is very good against like decks like Adventure, decks like Hunters, Cross, right? Where you can still have some Tamer interaction. It's not as annoying as, for example, old Black War, where you could delete up to a play cost of 6 potentially of Tamers and Digimon. Now it's really just delete a play cost 7 or lower, I believe, of Tamer and Digimon, Tamer or Digimon. So it's a little bit more fine-tuned in that regard, but you still have access to Hades Force, right? And that card sometimes can potentially just end the game right there and then. So I'd be curious to see if Black War does end up having a spot in the meta down the road. I know there are not a lot of big events between now and BT 23 that is coming out in like a couple weeks. And then after that, we get a bunch of store regionals and then a couple of Ulti Cups, I believe. And then before you know it, it's Wave 2 of Nats. So we'll see. We have a pretty good start by Adventure. Courage United's already out on the board. We got a BO that'll do some early chip damage. Got a Violet out there. So just go ahead and play out a BO, do some search. You pick up the level 5 Metal Gray. And call it a day. Violet effect, you go ahead and pitch an option card to draw 1. Pitching a Dare Blitz. Agu will go into a Scope. Scope will allow you to potentially link or tuck an option card. Debating what we want to do here. We'll tuck the Dare Blitz. Since we tucked a card, you gain a memory. You, in theory, can de-digivolve, but nothing to de-digivolve here. We'll go out and play out a... what is that? A Shotmon. Shotmon will go ahead and evo into a Tankmon. Go into the Gabu there. That little pretty Gabu boy. Evo into Toge. No Tamers yet, which is a little tough. But you can Evo into a Lily, potentially, and suspend all of them. But we just play out the Matt and TK, call it a day. And now it'll be up to Air Dudes here to respond to this board state. But we'll just end up getting some chip damage, which is a little scary with Adventure, especially when they don't have their Tamers out on board. Because sometimes you're like, you know that they're struggling for Tamers, and the minute you chip in a security, you're like, oh man, I just hit 2 Tamers. But thankfully for Air Dudes here, we don't see any Tamers come out of security, just 2 small bodies, so his 2 bodies end up living. Which honestly is pretty huge. Pretty huge. So we play out a Sparrowmon here. Sparrowmon on play. What is that feller? Sparrowmon, where are you at, feller? Start of main, you place an option card from hand or trash, and you draw 1. Go into Lily here. Lily will go ahead and suspend everything. Bot deck the Scope, and can potentially punch over something if he wanted to. I think it's fair to do so. Yeah, just get rid of the Sparrow there. Make sure that we don't get some draw power. Now, if he can find a way to get rid of the Tankmon, perfect, but I don't think you worry as much. If you go Sparrow, we'll do some start of main effects here. We'll go ahead and pitch a Beelstar Ace off of the Violet to draw. Then tuck a Dare Blitz. Should draw another card off of Sparrow. Gain a memory from, I believe it's the Kakuri. Go Tankmon. Tankmon will go ahead and pitch another card here to potentially... Is it potentially tuck underneath to go ahead and de-digi 1? Yeah, de-digi the Lily. So you get rid of the Ace threat there, which is huge. Tank will go ahead and swing in a security. Hitting a Melga Ace. We'll go ahead tank into security once again. I'm curious as to why we aren't going for the suspended Toga. Just because a little bit of board control never hurts, especially against Adventure. Basically forcing them, especially with just 1 Tamer out, to say, look, you're going to have to hard evo your stuff. But we do see the Toga living, which let's see if that ends up making a difference here. So the Gabu can come out. We'll play out the Tamer for the 3. Now Evo for 2 into Burdra. We'll go into Kabuteria, suspend the Avenge Kid. And now we can pop off some shenanigans here. Go Lily, and yep, just bot deck the board. And then on Evo, we'll be allowed to swing. We'll hit a red, blind red trigger, which will go ahead and pop one of the Digimon with highest DP. So of course the Digimon that alliance will gain that DP buff. So go ahead and pops it and ends the attack there. But yeah, I mean, regardless, right? It is a bit unfortunate to see the Lilymon go, and chose not to proc Courage United, but I mean, still a very, very decent board wipe by Blubby here, right? So Avenge Kid will come out. We'll go ahead and do 3 bot deck to go ahead and play for reduced cost of 6. So for 7, go ahead and play Adventure Kid. And that guy's just a big guy chilling. He's got raid, blocker, retail. On deletion, does some things, but otherwise he's just kind of chilling. Right now, real no big ace threat. We'll go into Lily once again to... Oops, ooh. Looks like we're choosing not to warp. Looks like we'll play Ty instead. Pardon me. Ty will then go ahead and evo into Melga, since now we have 3 different colors. Yep. So you need the 3 different colors to warp into the Melga there. So we finally meet the requirements. 2 yellow tamers, 1 purple, 1 red, and then the white from Ty. Since we played, we can go ahead and evo with Alliance, draw off a Ty, use Melga effect to potentially play out another level 4. We'll go ahead and play the Toga. Toga effect, we'll go ahead and evo potentially into... Okay, we'll just play out a Bio instead to do some search, pick up the Goblin, the mat, do the 2 checks, and hit another blind red trigger. Yikes. On deletion, we'll go ahead and pick up a card. So we'll pick up the Melga Ace there. And while it is a little bit tough, I mean, let's see what Muskets can do. I don't know if there's a way for them to gain the rush unless they do, like, for example, like oh, blind red trigger actually. Oh, that's just main effect. So if you play out a blind red trigger, you can trash and potentially swing if this stack hasn't swung yet. So yeah, we'll go ahead, Beelstar Ace. We'll do the Hurricane Screw Shot here to go ahead and get rid of the board. Now the question though is, are we going to proc, Courage United, which could potentially be a problem. Metal Gray will go ahead, Digivolve, and then pass turn over. Yeah, because of the overflow. So yeah, I think a little slight misplay there. Got a little antsy about getting rid of the board. And Courage United is still a very strong card, and you gotta respect it. And because that was able to proc, goes ahead and is able to swing, and then he does the last check. So Adventure does end up taking it. We see here the Beelstar X could have been a play for sure. But yeah, do have to be careful, especially if you're going to utilize the ace, that you got to make sure that those threats are accounted for. And we do see Adventure take it. So well played by both. I mean, we did see a pretty good back and forth at the beginning there. So well played. Had fun time watching it. So shout out to you two folks. And hopefully we get to see more of you guys at locals. But thank you all for tuning in as always. We appreciate the support. As I said earlier, do check out TJ's Time Stranger stream. Should be a good time. I know he's been really enjoying it, so hopefully you guys can enjoy it with him as well. If you guys are playing, hopefully you guys are having a fun time. And thank you for taking a break and checking the video out. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So hopefully we catch you on that next video. Bye-bye.